Hello, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Watson, and I am CMO at IQ.
Great, hi Jonathan. This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy.
What were your key takeaways from tonight?
I thought one of the biggest takeaways for me was that got one brand, Convex, who've managed to break the mold. Lots of the competitors are spending tens of millions on above-the-line advertising. And I think what Convex have managed to do is break into that top five, and they've actually done something, a really memorable experiential campaign that people will remember for quite a long time, I think. And they've managed to create advocates within their own business to support their proposition and their brand, and they've really managed to create something a little bit different in what is a really competitive marketplace, and it's tough to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that we kind of know all the theory, but we also said tonight, you can break the mold and you can do different things. And it can be cost effective, and fundamentally, my kind of aim, I suppose, in the end, is that this is about growing the businesses profitably. So if you could do it cheaper and better, do that, I think.
I think what some brands will have to understand is that to create those kind of really memorable moments for brokers, they might have to do it on a lower scale. So they might not get to tens of thousands, in the tube or by looking at a bus or a taxi. They're going to have to do it bit by bit. So they might be just reaching 1,000, 2,000 brokers at a time, but they're going to create much more interesting moments than you would elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'd say as well that it is a kind of commercial journey, because there's a point at which you still then need to go and say, well, if we go global, then we probably do need to do that ATL stuff as well. But on the way to that, you can get to that place without having to do that, and you have to cut your cloth accordingly, I think. Yeah.
I think that if insurers get it right, if your brand actually is actually your product and your people, and then your brand can find a way to, I guess, showcase what your teams are doing, and that ultimately becomes your brand. And I think that's quite an interesting way to start to look at it. That you're trying to wrap up whatever it might be. Perhaps it is service, or it's another value that you think you're bringing as a team, and actually that can then begin to elevate your brand.
Brilliant.
And I think that's what's really interesting, what Julian was talking about in Insure Index, the way that they've split up between claims and servicing and technology. And what I was talking about, it's all kind of coming together to create that brand, and people are starting to get it, I think. Do you feel that your senior exec are on board with that idea, or do they still need convincing?
I still think there's convincing. I mean, I don't think we're quite there yet, but I think you all have seen that there's been a bit of a sea change over the last few years, where marketing and brand has become more and more important, and having a differentiated value proposition and positioning statements are becoming more important for people and more important for organisations, because I think people are beginning to recognise the value of what you'd see in B2C is now definitely becoming part of B2B language. So some of the stuff you've spoken about today around personas, I think, is absolutely true. So we're beginning to see a change, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take, I think, multi-years of consistent delivery of service and proposition that will make people really sit up and take notice, and then that's when I think you see the change.
And I'd just add, finally, I think that what I can see now is there's a professional body of people in this market, and just looking around the room tonight and listening, I mean, there's some really good thinking going on, and that's going to have a massive impact. And we've got to get that across. It's not just a bunch of amateurs playing at this stuff. We're kind of serious, and we're going to help the businesses be really profitable. Brilliant. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks very much. Thank you. All right. Take care.
Cheers.